Alright, let's take a look at the first line of this minuet in G minor from the notebook for Anna Magdalena Bach. We're going to start with just the right hand. So the right hand begins with the fourth finger up here on B flat, two B flats above middle C. So if this is middle C, I'm not going to go to this B flat, I'm going to go to the one up here. And then it sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, ready, set, go. So not terribly difficult. Again, we're starting on this B flat and then we're just going to walk it down. So it's going to go 4, 3, 2, 3, 1, and then 2. There's a finger switch right there. So let's try that again. It starts on finger 4 up here on the B flat. So B flat, stepping down, stepping back up. Gonna have to take my thumb and stretch it down to D. And then it does a finger switch here. The reason it does a finger switch is because I want my fifth finger on G. So when I play 1 here, which is the easiest way to reach D from this A over here, so again, stepping down here, the easiest finger to grab this D here is my thumb, not my second finger. So I'm going to play my thumb here, and then I'm quickly going to switch to my second finger so that my fifth finger automatically ends up on that G. And then I play G, go down an octave, and then eighth notes are going to run up to D. So one more time, let's walk through it. Fourth finger on B flat, stepping down, step back up. Thumb's going to grab D, quick finger switch. G is going to be played by the fifth finger, octave stretch down, and then run it up to D. Make sure you're aware of that B flat. We're in the key of G minor, so that means that all B's and E's are going to be flat naturally. It's weird to kind of say it's going to be naturally flat, but B flat and E flat are diatonic to the G minor scale. Alright, let's take a look at what the left hand's doing. Left hand is going to begin with its second finger on the G below middle C. Here's middle C, the G below it, and it's just going to walk down. Now that third measure, remember, E's are flat. E flat is diatonic. Diatonic just means it's a part of the scale. So we're going to step down from G to F, and then fourth finger is going to go over here to E flat, and then fifth finger is going to play D, and there's going to be a quick octave jump up, and then we're going to do a 5-finger scale going down. So let's do that one more time. Second finger is going to start on G, 3 beats, and then we're going to walk it down, and then we're going to walk it down not to E but to E flat, and then we're going to walk it down one more time, jump up. Oh, I didn't play that right. I'm terribly sorry. I said that we were going to do a quick 5-finger scale down, which we kind of are, but not really. We're going to go from here to here, and then as we come down, that last note, if you notice, is a tuck. So our thumb is going to come underneath and play A so that it sets us up for the next line. But we'll get to that in a second. So let's do that one more time, the right way this time. Second finger starting on G. Ready, set, go. G, 2, 3. F, 2, 3. E flat, 2, 3. D, jump up. And make sure at the very end your thumb is tucked under to play A. Alright, let's try that hands together. So, right hand's going to start with the fourth finger up here on B flat. Left hand's going to start with the second finger down here on G. So 1, 2, 3, ready, set, go. Finger switch right here, then G down to G, up to D, tuck under at the end. Alright, One more time, little faster. So reset, fourth finger up here on B flat, second finger down here in G. 1, 2, 3, ready, set, go. And that's the first line. Alright, let's move on to the second line. Here, notice that we ended the first line with our right hand in a G 5-finger scale, technically a G minor 5-finger scale because B's are flat. But now we need our third finger up on this E flat over here. So after we end the first line, our right hand is going to have to move up here. Now I teach all my students that whenever we move, you shouldn't slide. You shouldn't slide if you don't have to. It's better to do an archway so that you can keep that rounded position. Usually when we slide, we have a tendency to miss our notes and we flatten our fingers. We don't want to flatten our fingers. We want to lift up and then set down. And it doesn't have to be dramatic. It doesn't have to be this huge lift, but just a gentle up and down. Up and down. It keeps the wrists nice and loose. So we're going to start with our third finger here on E flat. And then we have this little motif that sounds like this. I'll play it first and then walk you through it. That's pretty. One more time, it sounds like this. So, starting on E flat, we're going to go up to F, and then we're going to go back down to C. And then in the measure 6, we're going to start with D here, up to E flat, and then we're going to keep going down all the way to B flat. But when we get to that B flat, our second finger needs to cross over, and then that will change our hand position. So now that my second finger is on B flat, my third finger is on C, which sets us up for the next measure. And then we should end on A. Make sure you're writing in your finger numbers in order to play that. So let's try that together, a little slow. 1, 2, 3, ready, set, go. E, now D, now C, and A. Not terribly difficult. Make sure that you're connecting that entire line. Notice the slur. It goes from measure 5 all the way to measure 8. That dotted half note where your thumb ends. So you want to be able to connect that entire line the whole time. So let's go ahead and take a look at the left hand. Notice that in measure 4, right before we get to the second line, we had that tuck at the very end. We went D, C, B flat, and we took our thumb and we tucked it under to A. And that tuck is supposed to help set us up for the next fingering, because when I tuck under to A, it gives my other fingers a chance to move to their new spot, and I need to move my fourth finger to G and my second finger to B flat. And that's how we start the next line. So I would practice that a couple times, be able to go and get real comfortable with this motion right here. And then when you're ready, we can start practicing the second line. So here we go. Second line, 2 and 4 on G and B flat. And then we step up to A and up to B flat. And then we have that G here that our fourth finger is on, and then our thumb has to tuck, or has to kind of squish together to be able to play A right here, then F sharp, G, D, and then up again to D. So here we go. Let's start at measure 5. It sounds like this, and then I'll walk you through it. So let's walk through that. The first two measures, 5 and 6, if your fourth finger is on G and your second finger is on B flat, then all the notes are right there under your fingers. So I'm going to play 2 and 4, then finger 3, then finger 2, and then finger 4. But starting in measure 7, that's where we're going to start moving our left hand to get to its new spot. So we have to take our thumb here in measure 7 and squish down so that it's right next to our fourth finger, which just played G. And then when we do that, we open up the rest of our hand so that now our third finger is on F sharp. So we play 3, 2, 5. And then we jump up an octave to this D up here, and then we walk it back down. And at the very end, once again, we have that tuck. So let's walk through that together. 1, 2, 3, ready, set, go. Here, now finger 3, finger 2, now finger 4, squish, 1, 3, 2, 5 up the octave, and walk it down and tuck your thumb at the very end. Alright, let's see if we can play this hands together. So my right hand third finger is on E flat up here. My left hand fingers 2 and 4 are down here. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, ready, set, go. Not too bad. You're going to probably have to practice the left hand by itself a number of times and then slowly start adding the right hand in with that. Alright, let's take a look at the third line. The third line is almost the same as the first line. So the right hand again is going to start up here on B flat and it's going to walk down. So stepping down, then finger 3, then it has that staccato thumb on D, finger switch, then finger 5 down the octave and walks it right back up. So the right hand is the exact same. Right hand is the exact same as the first line. So let's just jump into the left hand and see what that's doing. Left hand, once again, right before we got to measure 9, we had that tuck in measure 8, that last note in measure 8. Your thumb should have tucked under to grab A, which would set you up very nice for the third line. So our second finger again is going to start on G and we're going to walk it down. So we're playing G, then we walk it down, then we're walking down to E flat. Remember, E flat is diatonic to G minor, and then we have D up the octave, and then now we have something a little bit different. It's the same general idea. We don't tuck under. Our thumb does not tuck under at the end of this line like it has the past two lines. And our B is not flat anymore. Our B is now natural. So, something to take note of. Whenever Bach changes a note from diatonic to non-diatonic, he's usually probably about to modulate to a different key for a second. So, let's do that again. Left hand second finger starting on G, and then we walk it down. So G, walk down to F, walk down to E flat, and then down to D, up. Don't worry about tucking, and keep the B natural this time. So let's see if we can play both hands together right there. 1, whoops, left hand's in the wrong spot again. Second finger on G. 1, 2, 3, ready, set, go. Not too difficult. If you know the first line, this line will be even easier. So let's take a look at the fourth line, starting in measure 13. Once again, our right hand is going to have to move up, fourth finger starting on F, because we just had the we just finished with our right hand going here. That was measure 12. And then we have to take our right hand, jump back up here. Fourth finger starts on F, and the whole line sounds like this. So, starting at measure 13, we're going to do kind of that motif that he was doing in the second line. So, 4, step up, and then walk it down to D, then step up to that quarter note, and then walk it down. Now we have, in measure 15, we have finger 2 to 5 to 1, and then a big jump down here. And that is a first inversion B flat major chord. And we want the fingers 1, 2, and 4 on that chord. So your thumb should be on D, your second finger on F, and your fourth finger on B flat. You might ask yourself, why not do 5? And you could do 5. When I demonstrated this, I ended with fifth finger here. But a lot of times it feels kind of cramped when you're playing a black key like this, and if you play your fourth finger here, it kind of just allows your hand to open up a little bit, and it's more it's kind of a more relaxed feeling for those with big hands like myself. If you have small petite hands, then 1, 2, and 5 should work fine. If you have big hands, 1, 2, and 4 is really all you need. So let's go ahead and play that together. Again, right hand, fourth finger starting 2 Fs above middle C. Here's middle C, 1, 2 Fs, fourth finger right there. And here we go. 1, 2, 3, ready, set, go. And jump 1, 2, and 4, or 1, 2, and 5. Either one. Doesn't really matter as long as you can land it. Alright, let's talk about what the left hand is doing. Left hand, pretty simple, except for maybe the very end it gets a little jumpy. But we're going to start here. Since we did not tuck at the end of the previous line, our hand is exactly where it needs to be. And we're going to start with fingers 1 and 3 on B natural and D. So we're going to play that. And then finger 5, and honestly that finishes the chord. I mean, this whole thing is a G major chord right here. That's the whole line if you play that with the right hand. So we have kind of this G major chord right here, but he's breaking it up. So it's going to start with B and D, and then G. Now notice in measure 14 right there, our thumb is going to kind of squish down so that it's playing C. Because if I'm right here, then my second finger is naturally on C. But we want to move the thumb to C starting in measure 14. So again, here, then finger 5, and then thumb on C, stretching our second finger down to A. And when our second finger stretches down to A, then it sets up our fourth finger to naturally be on F. And then our thumb is going to move to B flat. And that feels kind of weird until you realize that the fifth finger is also going to be on a flat key. Because remember, kind of a rule of piano fingering is we never want our thumb, if we can help it, to be higher than the rest of our fingers. So if my thumb is on a black key and the rest of my fingers are on white keys, then that feels kind of strange. But I can move my thumb to a black key and put my fifth finger on a black key as well, and that levels out the rest of my fingers. So when he does this here, we have thumb on B flat, and then the fifth finger is going to move to E flat, and then our second and fourth finger are going to play F and A, and then we have B flat to B flat. So all that together sounds like this. Watch carefully. 1, 2. I'm going to squish a little bit, stretch second finger, and then thumb moves to a black key, pinky moves to a black key, 2 and 4 together, and then B flat to B flat. Alright, now that you've seen it, let's try to play it together. 1, 2, 3, ready, set, go. 1, 2, 3, now C, A, F, B flat, E flat, F and A, B flat to B flat. Not too terrible, not too terrible. If you take time to study what Bach is trying to put down, or we assume that Bach did this, we don't know. He might have gotten this from one of his friends back in the day. One of his friends might have written this and he just liked it so much that he put it in the notebook for his wife. We don't know if Bach actually wrote this piece, but we attribute it to Bach. But if you study the fingering and don't think about what he's doing, but think about where he's going, it's going to be a lot easier for you to commit this to memory, if that's your goal. Alright, let's go ahead and play both hands together. 1, 2, 3, ready, set, go. Something I will say stylistically about this piece is whenever there is not a slur, it would be better if you played it disconnected, not staccato. We don't want to play it staccato unless there's a staccato dot written. But when there's not a slur, you want to play it unconnected. So for instance, I'm going to play this last line 2 times, and I'm going to play one connecting everything to the end, and then I'm going to play it the second time disconnecting or not connecting it whenever there's not a slur. So pay attention to this real quick. 1, 2, 3, ready, set, go. And the second time. 1, 2, 3, ready, set, go. So the second time when it's not connected makes it sound more Baroque. Not broke like as in broken, Baroque as in the style of the 1650 to 1750. So I would encourage you that, especially if you're going to play this for a judge, if you're going to do this at your own leisure, it doesn't really matter. You can play it any way you want. You can put a hip hop beat behind this, as some have done, and rearrange it however you want to do. But if you want to play this true to the times, true to the time that it was written, and you want to play this for any type of competition, the judge will appreciate it if you unconnect the notes whenever there's not a slur written. Just a little tip for competitions. And then there's a repeat. You repeat the whole first 4 lines again, and then we're going to move on to measure 17. So moving on to measure 17, kind of a little bit different style. Let's start with the right hand, see what the right hand's doing. So 1, 2, 3, ready, set, go. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. It kind of just goes up and then back down. So we're going to start with our 4th finger on D, our 2nd finger on B flat. Make sure B flat is diatonic to the key that we're in. And I know it doesn't sound minor right now. It sounds like he's gone to the relative major. Actually, because he naturalizes that E up there, it sounds more like he's gone to the key of F. So anyway, if you don't understand modulation, then don't worry about that. But again, B flat, diatonic to the key signature, and he's going to naturalize this E when we get to it, so don't play a flat there. So 1, 2, 3, ready, set, go. Now right there, right after he plays the B flat, he tucks the thumb under so that he can play the rest of the notes. So it's a fourth finger to second finger, and then he tucks thumb under to C, and then he walks it up, and you think he's going to go all the way up, but he's not. When he tucks under to C, he's going to go up to F, but he's going to tuck under once again to F. And then he stays in this position the entire time. So once you get your thumb to F up here, then you're golden for the rest of the line. So again, let's go through that slowly. Fourth finger is going to start on D, second finger on B flat, thumb tucks under to C. Then we walk up 2 notes, and then thumb's going to tuck under to F. Disconnecting because there's no slur right there, and then we stay here the rest of the time. And we connect all those notes because of the slur that's above it. Yeah, that's not too hard. Alright, let's see what the left hand is doing. Left hand is going to start on the B flat below middle C, second finger here, and then the second note that we play in measure 18, the thumb's going to tuck under. So our thumbs are doing a lot of tucking in this line. So we're going to play B flat and tuck under. 1, 2, 3, and then one's going to squish to G. Then 1, 3, 1, and then finger 2. That's really not that hard. Again, starting on B flat, hold it for 3 counts, tuck your thumb underneath, step it down. Technically, I probably shouldn't have connected that because there's no slur, but we'll keep moving. And then we're going to take our thumb and we're going to slide over to, or squish over to G right here, and then we're just going to build a C scale going, or C chord going down. So G, E natural, C, and then F. Yeah, it makes me think that since he's naturalizing all these E's, that he's trying to convince his listeners that he's now moved to the key of F. I'm pretty sure. Alright, let's try hands together. One, 2, 3, ready, set, go. Tucking under, and they both tuck right there. Let me play that one more time and unconnect the notes that don't have a slur. So see if I can do it more appropriate to the Baroque style. 1, 2, 3, ready, set, go. Alright, starting in measure 21, just the right hand. Our hand has moved down, our thumb has moved down to the F here, and we're going to play an F major scale almost entirely. So let's see what that sounds like. Starting on F. Interesting. Play that one more time. Ready, set, go. Cool. He re-added the E flat. So now we're in B major. And F is the 5 of B flat. So he went to the 5 of the relative major key and then ended on the relative major. Okay. Alright, I think I see where he's going with this. Alright, so one more time. We're just doing an F major scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, tuck under when we get to C. And then make sure that your third finger ends on E flat. And when we hit E flat, we start stepping down. And then make sure you tuck fifth finger to F. And then second finger on B flat. Step down to A. back up to B flat. So quickly sounds like this. That's not bad at all. That's rather simple. Alright, let's see what the left hand's doing. Left hand on this line, our thumb is on A, and we're just going to walk it down. So we go A, step down, then thumb kind of tucks to G, or not tucks, but squishes to G, step down, then D, E flat, F, and then right at the end there, pinky stretches down to B flat, up to D. Sorry, I went on to the next line. But let's try that again, a little faster. Ready, set, go. A, stepping down, G, stepping down, D, E flat, F, B flat up to D. Alright, that's not that bad. I mean, the only thing that you're going to have to look out for in measure 22 is you have to squish and then make sure that you can land at the very end there, that B flat to the D. That's kind of a big jump. That's a tenth right there. So don't try to stretch it. Even my big hands have a hard time trying to reach that. Make sure you jump up to that. B flat up to D. Alright, hands together. Let's see what that sounds like. 1, 2, 3, ready, set, go. That's kind of pretty. Alright, let's do it again together. A little faster. 1, 2, 3, ready, set, go. Alright, moving on to the next line. So the right hand just ended with its second finger on B flat. And then we're going to just move our thumb down to G right here without changing the position of any of our other fingers. So when we move our thumb down to G in measure 25, don't bring the rest of the fingers with it. Keep thumb here on G and keep second finger here on B flat. It'll set you up really nicely for the rest of the line here. So we go oh, that's so cool. Let's try that again. So, ready, set, go. So our hand is already set up. As long as we just moved our thumb down to G and left the rest of our fingers where they were, we should be pretty good. So it's 1, 4, 3, 4, and then 1, 5, but not 5 on E, 5 on E flat. The measure 27 and 28 should be 1, 5, 2, 5, 1, 3, 2. So watch my hands carefully. Thumb on G, and then rock up to D, and then second finger is going to cross over the thumb, play F sharp, and it's going to pull the pinky with it so that now it's not playing D but it's playing C, and then we're going to go rock back to our thumb here, and then our third finger should align nicely with B flat right there, and then we end on finger 2. So 1, 5, 2, 5, 1, 3, 2. And I would isolate that and practice that to where you can get it pretty fast. It's a little wonky. It's a little weird. So make sure that you can get that pretty good. Let's see what the left hand is doing. So let's see. In measure 24, we went boom, ba, da, and then we have B natural and D again. So hold for 3. And then C, and then third finger on B flat. So we went from the B natural, now we're on B flat, stepping it down. And this is not a tuck, this is a move. So when we in measure 26, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger, back up to thumb, and that thumb is going to have to jump down to A. So make sure that you get that jump. It's a double thumb. We're going to have to go from thumb on D to thumb on A there at the end. So let's do it in time. Ready, set, go. 1, 2, 3, C, 2, 3. Now B flat, walk it down, and then jump. And there's an F sharp there when we walk down that scale. A, G, F sharp, and then E natural. So he's naturalized the E, he's sharped the F. Makes me think that he's going to do some type of secondary dominant in the next line. But we'll get to that in a second. Hands together. So, first finger on G, fourth finger on D, 1 and 3 or 3 and 1 should always name finger numbers from bottom to top, so 3 and 1. So here we go. Ready, set, go. I shouldn't have to hold that right hand the entire time. It's only a half note. It doesn't get 3 beats. There's a quarter rest there, so. Oh, sorry. Let's try it one more time. One more time. Ready, set, go. Awesome. Alright, let's take a look at the last line and be done with this song. So looking at this scale starting in measure 29, I can read the notes, so I'm just trying to understand what type of scale this is, how does it function with the key signature. Obviously he's going to end on G minor here at the end. I'm just trying to figure out how this all works together. So, oh, wait, I think I see it. Okay, so it's a diatonic scale to G minor, but it's not starting on G. He's starting on D. Okay, so this F sharp to G is just a half step. It's the raised 7th degree of a harmonic scale, a harmonic minor scale going to the tonic. So we're back to G minor. This F sharp going to the G is the leading tone going to the tonic. So it's just a scale going up. 1, 2, 3, tuck under. And then once we hit C, we start stepping back down. Cross 4 there to the F sharp. And that F sharp once again is going to lead back to this G. And this is one of those occasions where our thumb is going to wind up being higher than our pinky. Might feel a little weird, that's okay. But, it's not a hard and fast rule, it's just it's a statistical improbability that our thumb will end up being higher than any of our other fingers most of the time. So once again, starting on D, we're going to go up 3 notes, tuck under, going to go up 4 notes to C, and then walk it down, and then B flat, C, D, G, 4th finger crosses over to F sharp, and then we swing the rest around to play our final G minor chord in first inversion. Alright, let's see what the left hand is doing. Now in the measure before this, we went down like this. So our fifth finger is going to wind up being on this D right here. And then, you know, thank Bach for that rest right there, so we have time to move our second finger to E flat. Then we walk it down, pinky on B flat, step back up, and then G down to G. So again, starting in measure 29, our pinky should start on D right here. And then we lift at that rest, moving our second finger to E flat. Then we just walk it down to B flat. Then we walk back up, and then G, G, last two notes. Not terribly difficult. Let's play hands together. Ready, set, go. Alright, one more time, a little bit faster, hands together. Ready, set, go. I probably should have slowed down there at the end. Kind of gives it a sense of finality whenever you slow down at the end of a section. But anyway, that is the entire Minuet in G minor from the Notebook for Anna Magdalena. Please like and subscribe, and let me know if there's anything that you would want me to teach on another video in the future.